Hello people, this is a review walk around type thing of my DRZ400sm. Bit of a long term review as I've owned this thing for 4 years and covered about 20,000 miles on it. So maybe it will sort of show you what it'd be like in the long term. I use it as my daily workhorse, so it gets ridden in all weathers. I don't own a car. It's a nice reliable little bike. I've done quite a few little bits and pieces to it, as you can probably see. Most of the work I do to it is on a bit of a budget, as I'm not exactly flush with cash. I try and keep it looking relatively tidy. So the good things about this bike, getting through traffic, nothing really beats it. Good acceleration, not very good top end. If you're looking for a bike which you want to be going over 80 miles an hour with on a regular basis, I'd look elsewhere. Although mine can sort of get 100 miles an hour on the clock at a push on a private road. One thing I've noticed with this bike is it eats back tyres. It's probably the most expensive part for it. This one here was put on less than 50 miles ago, maybe 100 miles ago, I don't know. Had it at the MOT about 2 weeks ago. Also chains. This is my third chain, I think. Maybe fourth? Yeah, fourth chain. I had a Rental one on there, don't buy them, they're absolute shite. This one's an RK racing chain and it's doing alright, but not brilliant either, to be honest. Quite a few owners put did chains on them. The exhaust is quite restrictive from standard on the SM model and the S model. This is the header and silencer off of the E model, which is about 2mm wider at the header and has no muffler in the silencer, so it makes quite a nice sound which you can hear later. Also the standard carb, which is in there somewhere, isn't brilliant, but this one has been fixed slightly with a JD jetting kit, which gives it a bit more poke. Also they come with a solenoid on the carb, which would have been in there, and that's been taken off as that will reduce your top end in first, second and third gear. So not very nice. Well, over the 4 years I've had it, I've done quite a lot of little odd jobs, things wearing out and things needing maintaining. Recently I've done the brakes, rebuilt them and painted them in Go Faster Gold, which makes them stop a little bit better. Also added these lovely red Hell brake lines. Do quite nice. The rear one had seized up completely and used a set of pads in about 2,000 miles, so might want to watch out for them, but I guess that's general maintenance and me being slack, not servicing the brakes properly in the past. Also I've put on a nice wavy racing, is it called racing brake disc? I can't remember what make it is. Looks a little bit nicer than the stock one. Stuck on some nice Zeta brake lever and clutch lever. Bit of bling more than anything, but they do feel a lot better and definitely look nicer than the stock jobbies. What else have I done to it? Obviously lots of Go Faster stickers, which you can probably spot all over the place. For the MOT, it failed on head race bearings. Out the factory they don't really put any grease on them, they show them the tin and leave it at that. So they were kaput. Unfortunately I had to pay a garage to do them, and so I needed the bike back on the road in a hurry, which was horrible because it cost me a shitload. sport hand guards. Sort of keep the wind off my hands a bit in winter. I bought the wrong size. I bought them for standard bars, not the fat bars that the SM comes with. So I had to modify the clamp with a knife, and they've stayed there ever since. Under the seat I've got an alarm. Which is motion sensitive and it will also go off if the electrics are interfered with. Quite a good thing on these bikes because little scroats seem to like running off with them, breaking them down, sticking them on eBay. Also underneath the seat is an E-model CDR unit which increases the top revs by about 500. Not really much point in having it, but it was cheap, so on it went. Might have noticed I've done quite a lot of painting. The frame, after about 2 winters use, started to show quite bad signs of rust down here, underneath where these frame guards are. Sort of all over it really, so I painted this myself with rattle cans. Quite a lot of people will get them powder coated, but not something my budget or time stretches to. Can't afford to be without my bike for more than 2 days really, as I don't get any time off of work. Lots of other little bits I've painted just because they look shite with their factory finish. Gold radiators. Make it go a little bit faster, I think. Possibly not. Speedo cable broke on me about 12,000 miles. Probably due to me not oiling it, so something for any owners or buyers to look out for. Fucking pain in the arse to get hold of a SM model one as well. Today I was meant to change my swing arm, as this nut had seized in solid. They are a complete fucker to get off, it turns out. Maybe due to mine not being greased properly. But I had this bolt off and I beat the fuck out of it with a hammer, and would it budge, would it fuck? So I run out of time. Hopefully I'll get it done on my next day off. Also got case savers fitted. Standard cases are cheap magnesium. Probably not cheap, but very fragile. The levers can go straight through them. One on that side. One on that side. Someone else come here to join us. I think that might even be my old boss. Yippee. Yeah, they polished. Sorry about that blip in the footage. That was indeed my old boss, and she decided to stop for a chat. So I fitted a 12-volt socket there, so I can charge the sat-nav that I never ever use. It could be useful, I guess, but not really. Got some little bar end mirrors fitted on the bars. They look nice and tidy. Stay out the way. You can't see fuck all in them, but you can see a blind spot, which is kind of useful, I guess. Recently I had to do the free power mod, which if you do a Google search will bring up what that is. Basically there was a fucked connector down here, rotted up, and just had to bypass that really, get a bit more power going to the battery when it's running, charges a bit better. Job's a good one. But yeah, not really any problem since I own the thing. So I use it all weathers, sun, wind, rain, snow. In the snow sometimes I have to carry a shovel on my back because without the knobbly tyres it does struggle from time to time. But it always gets me to where I want to go and always gets me back again. The seat is pretty shit. More than, I don't know, 100 miles and your arse will feel like you've been buggered. So bear that in mind if you're going to be doing particularly long journeys, motorway rides, whatever. Some people sort of say you can't use these bikes for motorways, but I've done quite a few 100 miles in a day on this on the motorway and not struggled. people that have as well. Overall a very good bike. Usable right the way through the gears, unlike a inline 4, you don't have to fuck around getting in the right gear before it feels like it's going to go anywhere. Even though with an inline 4 it will go wherever it's going a hell of a lot faster than this when you're in the right gear. On the twisties it'll still give sports bikes a run for their money though, so. Should probably start it up for you in a minute and let you hear the exhaust. Standard one sounds a bit like a pea shooter, but the E-model one is throaty enough. I think I picked mine up for 40 quid, which they can be had quite regularly for on eBay. For anyone thinking of buying one of these, you should try and change your oil every 1,000 miles to 1,500 miles. I think the Suzuki handbook reckons you should do it every 3,000 miles, but it's just not enough. Quite a few people have found this out to great expense when having to rebuild their engines. So, word of advice for you. But yeah, that's basically what I've got to say. I'm not really very good at this, and sound quality is probably pretty shit, as I'm just recording this on my helmet camera with its shitty built-in microphone, but there you go. If you don't like it, shit happens. I think I've covered all the bits and pieces that I've done to it. Not much of a review really, but I'm a bit shit at stuff like that. Fuel economy, if anyone really cares about that sort of thing, it's anywhere between 40 and 45 miles, 55 miles to the gallon. Get 55, you've got to ride like a complete fucking mincer, but it will do it if you're that way inclined. It's got a steering lock on, which I think is the culprit for water getting in and fucking my head race bearings. Can't really see it, but it's been painted over, but underneath there is silicone sealant. It's fucking shite anyway, even when you do use it. I always get worried I'll lose the fucking key for it. Little tiny indicators, look a bit tidier than the big lumpy ones. I've only put them on recently, I didn't use them up until then, but nice thing to have. Saves using fucking arm signals all the time and looking like a cunt. There you go. Rear foot pegs removed. Don't use them. Don't need them. I think that's pretty much all I've done to it. Like I say, I've had it 4 years and I'm not planning on selling it any time in a hurry. Had it since new. It will go for a bit of sound from the exhaust. That's that. Any questions you can feel free to ask. I'm only really doing this today because I haven't got fuck all better to do, so it's not great. Well, this isn't great, the bike's great, I fucking love it, but I'm not one for standing here. I feel like I'm talking to nobody. Oh, that was another one. R&G tail tidy. The stock one is fucking massive. And this one looks lovely. One of my favourite things done to the bike. Tidies up the now, and I'm going to fuck off home and cook some dinner, because I'm fucking starving. Any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching.